Marit, who she does some really unique things. And one of the things that it was not like the most exciting photograph, but the concept and the idea expressing her inspiration for Mark Rothko's images and how graphically, it works, that I said, I love that you look at the same graphic lines photographically in order to assimilate his artwork. And I said, very clever of you. So I thought it was great the way she did it. Individually, if you told me about the photograph or go back, there's something nice about these, but how she did it, interpreting the assignment for inspiration from a painter and interpret it into photography, I thought it was really worth kind of mentioning and bringing that point out. Because Ken is kind of all over the place with his subject matter, wherever it is, and he's got a great eye, so they're all good. But if you could just, Ken or anyone else who happens to have a great eye and can really do it, if you really want to take your work somewhere else, take that talent where you have and really focus and develop it in one direction that you really like, as opposed to going all over the place. But if you want to develop a reputation or build a name, you just have to build it with a certain direction that's consistent. Otherwise, they don't know whose style it is. Oh yeah, because
inspiration was experiential. At the time, I was swimming every day. And at the end, when I relaxed, I felt like water and air were the same medium, because I could float in it the way I imagine floating in air must be. And my mother was very sick and in hospital at the time, and I was trying to transmute to her the feeling of absolute lightness that would come from relaxing in water. Then the more I felt, the more this was going in that direction. And this is an entire portfolio that I did for Nippon Polaroid in Japan. They had a show in Tokyo of a series of my underwater images, because they were heavy into the emulsion lifts, the emulsion transfers, and these are a series of emulsion lifts.
Well, the image is great. It's unique, conceptual. It really has a great feeling and something else. And that's why I look at it and I commented, great image, but what's it about? What's your inspiration? Remember, not only for this assignment, but it's important to tell us about it. And you just explained it like a poem. So,
but then again, I think maybe if my image doesn't translate that, then maybe I'm not successful in that image.
Well, an image tells a story.
Right.
But there's a story behind every image.
Yes, that's true.
And what you explained, not only having to do with your mother and everything else, just what you said in the beginning about it, it's just your feeling for the creation of that image, aside from the personal story behind it, enhances it.
But, I wanted to ask also, I do understand the importance of signature, but when I'm finished with the portfolio, I cannot dictate where the next portfolio is going to take me. The style of image changes, the method I use changes. And so for me, I'm like the gentleman you mentioned earlier. Each portfolio has a definite signature, but my signature changes with each portfolio, and I can't help that.
But you're not any different than me. My deterioration series.
Yes,
it's different. It's different from my pictures of flowers, or the beauty shots or fashion pictures are different from my wet series. My landscape, it changes. But if you build the base of who you are, and get the recognition for that, Picasso went through his blue period and all these periods, and these artists that go through different things. So nothing's changed because it comes from the same soul and person in their life. And that's what that story behind it adds that much more to the value of what his work is and the value of what your work is.
Thank you. I'm truly touched by what you had to share with me about my work today. Thank you. It's very important.
Oh, great. And it's a pleasure to have you here with
Thank
your
you.
talent. And that's what makes me excited with that.